What's up, Get the Family? So, hopefully, you guys can see me, man. So, I figured something I would start doing, right? Being that I have about hour and a half ride home every day from work. Figure out I'll talk to you guys. I may call this series Car Talks. Pretty simple, but I think it's fitting, right? So, right now it's 5:22, almost 5:30. Probably get home around 6:30 ish. South Florida drivers, you gotta love them, right? Everybody's speeding. Maybe I should roll the window up because the elements outside are pretty loud. But yeah, man, what's up, guys? I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in such a long time, so I think right now is a perfect time to speak to you guys. Being that I don't really have nobody to speak to, actually I do, but I want to speak to you guys. I haven't talked to you guys in a while. So what's up, Get the Family? I hope life has been treating you well. I hope your 2024 has been off to a quite incredible start. Um, you know, and not to say that just because it's 2024, you got to make all these drastic changes or whatever. I hope that a lot of you guys are just improving upon certain things that you was already doing in 2023. And then if you do have to make a drastic change, hope you go out there and make it. Um, but also, too, I'm not for sure if this is in the video. If you guys see my little tree, yeah, black ice, a little hood rat. Nah, I'm joking, not hood rat, but the classic smell, super, super strong. But yeah, anyway, guys, I kind of just wanted to get on here and talk, really talk to you guys and talk about like what's been going on in my head, what's been going on in my life, right? So, first off, first and foremost, thank you guys for tuning in, for sure, if you're tuning in. But first and foremost, the biggest thing, right, that's been going on, or some things going through my mind, because I feel like this is very important for most of us to do, or really need to do, or really want to do, is a lot of times is reevaluate where we're at as people, right? And like, not just that, and you know, a lot of times you got to self-assess, because if you want to be at some place but you're not there yet, or want to have a certain body, whatever goals that you have, a lot of times you have to look within yourself and see like, hey, is what I'm doing right now, is this really aiding to me becoming that person that I want to become, right? And so a lot of times we we may think that way, but at the same time we may not make the necessary adjustments. So what I like found is, at least for me, everybody's different, right? What I found is, for me, it's like you really have to go to that place in your mind where you felt like you was the most focused and the most driven as a person, because that's where, of course, the most focused, that's where the most work is going to get done at, right? So for me, a lot of times it was like when I was pursuing my dream to like become, the next Michael Jordan, I was up every single day for hours playing basketball, shooting, and whatever, right? Um, but not only just that, but when I was studying to become a real estate agent, right? I took the course, I passed the course in like a week, and of course I failed the exam a couple of times, right? The state exam, but I was so driven and focused. Like every time I would fail or whatever, I would go back and retake it. Not only just retake it, but also study, add something new, take out what didn't work, put in what was working, or whatever, what I felt like I knew already, and then improve upon my weaknesses, right? And I feel like you have to use that analogy a lot of times with life, right? I heard J. Cole say this one time. I was just watching this video. Um, it's like a mini documentary, right? That he did for his latest album, All Season, and it's called Applying Pressure. It's on YouTube, right? And he said a lot of times you gotta, let me get my water out of my seat because it's loud, right? Um, but a lot of times he said you gotta look at things as a sport. And of course, if some of you guys never played sports before, you may not get the analogy. But a lot of times, as Like when you look at things as a sport, or if you're an athlete, a lot of times, at least for me, I didn't want to play a sport, especially basketball, my favorite, right? Uh, and not be the best at it, and not think that I could be the best at it. And so when you're playing a sport, you have to practice, whether it's with a team or it's by yourself or whatever, right? You have to practice. You have to look at things as a sport and continue to improve upon it, right? And so that's why I'm looking at like a thing with life. It's like, bro, I was so driven with these sports, doing this and that, especially basketball or whatever, or driven getting my real estate license. Tap into that same exact mental that I had doing that too as well, because you gotta look at it as a sport. Like if I'm training my hardest I could possibly train to become the best possible version, to be in the best possible shape, it's no way, no matter if when all of the successes, no matter how many times I failed the state exam for my real estate course, no matter like with all of the failures, you just know in the back of your mind what are you doing right now is going to aid to you becoming the best possible version of yourself, right? And so like you kind of have to tap back into it. And of course, it's not going to be easy because that's something I'm working on right now too, as well, right? And of course, listen to this. This is a key. This is kicker, and it's something that I struggle with. And is if you need to do something for yourself, do it. It's okay. Forget what anybody else says. You have to like take care of yourself first, and you got to make sure that you good first, and you want to do the things that you're doing for yourself first, because like if you're better as a person, it's only going to make things better around you, whether that's people, family, friends, or whatever. It's going to make everything better around you, right? So, like, just make sure that you're good first. Make sure you're doing the things that you need to do first, to take care of yourself, and like without apology, right? You don't have to like explain yourself to nobody, especially if it's something good, right? If it's something good, of course, I'm not saying hey go out here and do drugs or some crazy stuff. Nah, I'm talking about like if it's self improvement, you're improving yourself, you're working towards your goal, your dream, your vision that you have for yourself, that God placed in your mind for yourself. You don't have to explain it for nobody because it's not theirs to have. It's not their vision to see. It's not their dream to have, right? So that's first and foremost. Just take care of yourself first, and then decide what you want, and then attack it, and realize you gotta have patience. And this is something that I realized too. Oh well, a lot of people is like people, especially in the social media age. A lot of people just want things so quickly, right? And not realizing like, yeah, things can come quickly, or quicker than what they normally say, right? But at the same time, don't expect it. Don't expect it. You just got to continually like control what you can control, and what you can control is like your work, your effort, like your knowledge that you gain, and of course getting around certain people as well. Excuse me, guys, but now focus on what you can control, right? Like forget everything else, and the more you focus on what you can control and what you can do for yourself, like you will start realizing like doors will open up, right? Doors will open up for yourself, but also you start getting a better like mental space. Like to be honest with you, like when you realize like you can't control everything and you made the best possible decision, like out of the things that you can control, like your life will be getting so much better. Like you just become better mentally and clear, right? So just if you take anything from me, oh Popo, sorry, but now if you take anything from me, guys, it's just like focus on becoming the best possible version of yourself, and do the things that you need for yourself and improve upon it and do it consistently. And that's something a lot of people struggle with. Shit, that's something I struggle with. Sorry if I curse for you guys. I'm an adult, but like that's something I struggle with sometimes, right? It's like being consistent, especially when you're not seeing the results as fast as you want, and that creates discipline, right? Like the more consistent you are, the better discipline you have, and the more discipline you have, and the more prepared you become for certain things, or something in your career, your body, or whatever, health wise, it you become so much better overall. And I know it because I've been at a place where I was super consistent. And this may sound crazy. Actually, it may not, because I feel like, the pandemic, especially when it first started, 2020, right? It you either became better or you became worse. And a lot of times, I know the mental health stuff has risen during that time of the pandemic, 2020. But when the pandemic like happened and started in 2020, I'm not gonna lie, I was one of the most focused I've been, because we didn't have nothing to do, right? We didn't have anything outside. It wasn't that many people outside because the world was, everybody was locked inside, right? So I the first month of the pandemic, from March to like the middle of April, I read 4 books in that first month. I was working out every day. And this when I had my motorcycle. I miss it. I was going to this field every day, riding my motorcycle to this field. There was nobody on the road. It was like a complete like ghost town in Orlando. I know it's crazy, like tourist capital of the world. It was like complete ghost town. I was riding to this this field, Dr. Phillips Park, and I go out there and train and run, or I'll stay home and like do a whole bunch of push-ups, pull-ups, or whatever, trying to get my body back straight. And for like those 3 months, I feel like, for the most part, not always, but for the most part, I was extremely focused on trying to better myself. Right, I was waking up earlier, like how I like, and then afterwards, that kind of translated into what I really like doing. I was waking up every morning at 4:30, getting to the gym by like 5 or whatever, 4:30, 5 o'clock at the gym. And I work out for like 2 hours before I had to go to work or work on my real estate or whatever. And that's when I felt the best, right? Like, working out, I'll tell you guys something, right? And you may hear it from like a lot of people that may be like successful or whatever, but like working out and training and like to get your body to feel better, move better, to like be stronger or whatever, to look better, it really like is more than a physical benefit for me. Like mentally, it's like nothing like going into the gym and like lifting some heavy weight and pushing yourself, pushing your body, but also just pushing your mind. Like when things are hard and you telling yourself, hey, you could do it, bro, you feel so much better. So like, for anybody, like, to be honest, anybody that, I feel like that's one of the first steps to make, especially if your body don't feel right. Granted, my body, I got a long way to go for my body to like feel or look right, like how I want it to be, right? But like when you get in the gym consistently or whatever, you feel so much better, and I can tell you that because of experience. So like that would be my first key, right? Is to like really do that, and then everything else, just work on everything else for yourself, mentally, whether it's going through the therapy, reading books, talking to somebody, working it out for yourself, breathing or whatever. And of course, it's a work in progress. I'm not saying by any means that I'm perfect at this, because I'm not. I'm still working through a lot of stuff. And I'm not going to act like I am. This is why it's called a gifted journey, right? And you guys know, I'm not going to lie. Look, I had to be more consistent at posting videos. And the more consistent you are at certain things, the better you're going to come. So, like, I'm just speaking facts and speaking the truth. I'm trying to be 100% transparent with y'all. And that's where I want to like take my page. It's called a gifted journey for a reason. We all have gifts and we all on our own separate journeys to perfect those gifts and those crafts. So this is why this is called a gifted journey, right? So no matter what, keep pushing, keep going. I love you guys. It is now like 5:40. I'm about to be like in so much traffic getting on the turnpike. But anyway, get the family. I love y'all. Peace.